Hello and welcome. My name is Charles Atelu, Health Informatics Content Developer and Trainer with over 10 years experience working for the Kenya HMIS2 project. In this video, I'm going to take you through HIV testing services workflow. To access the HTS workflow, you have to log in to IQCare by providing a username and password. Once there, click on the Universal Service portal. Be navigated to the search dashboard where you will search for a client enrolled into the system. It's my belief that you have interacted with the Universal Service Portal registration video as well as enrollment into a service area video. The videos will serve as a precursor to this video on an HTS workflow. So you're going to search for a patient who has already been registered using the Universal Service Portal. Click on Find Person. We are going to search for this patient known as HTS demo. Once you type in the name of the client, click on the search person button and the client will appear. So a client for this HTS workflow demo is known as HTS demo client. She's a female, 25 years of age, and her registration ID is as displayed on the video. So to open the client dashboard, click on the person home. Click on the person home hyperlink. So once you click, the patient dashboard summary will appear with the client's name, client HTS demo, the gender, age, marital status, as well as the services that the patient is eligible to be enrolled in. Remember, this is a female patient and she is eligible to be enrolled into the HTS service area, which is our concern for this video, the CCC service area, ANC service area, because she's a female patient who can be pregnant, maternity service area, and postnatal service area. However, this client is not eligible for the HAY service area because she's not an infant. Therefore, back to our HTS workflow. So we're going to register this patient into an HTS service area. To enroll the patient into an HTS service area, under the column written action, click on the enroll button. HTS enrollment page will appear. Select the enrollment date from the calendar menu. Select the population type. If it's a key population, select key population and the key population options will become activated. But if it's a general population, once you select general population, then the key population options are inactivated. Priority population. If priority population is yes, then drop-down menu on the priority population will appear. Select accordingly. If the client is not priority population, select the radio button no, and the priority population drop-down menu will be inactivated. Provide an HTS number, and once you click on the HTS number, the previously allocated HTS number will appear. This will trigger the user not to duplicate the previously assigned HTS number. Once done, click Submit button to submit the enrollment. Once done, enrollment success feedback telling you that the enrollment was successful will appear. Once the enrollment is successful, the patient HTS dashboard will appear, spelling out the serial number, HTS number, the date of registration, sex of the patient, and the age. And on the left, there are additional tabs that are added to it. Person home can still get back to home. We are home here. The lab page, triage, HTS encounters, family, and PSMAT. To start a new HTS encounter, click on New HTS Encounter button. The HTS pretest form will appear. This is a HTS lab form will appear with a summary of the patient name, registration details, age, serial number, sex of the patient. So select, this is a pretest, select if this is an initial test or repeat test from the radio button. Then counter date from the calendar menu. service delivery point, consent. If the consent selected is a no, then that marks the end of the encounter, because you cannot proceed to test a client who does not give consent. So if the consent is yes, we'll proceed for the purposes of this video to TB screening drop-down. If ever tested, if it's a yes, any HIV self-test in the past, the client is going to be tested as an individual, or if they can walk in as a couple, select it accordingly. HIV testing, HIV counseling done, select it. Yes or no option. Retesting, the number of months since the last test. You can put in the number of months since the last test. Any disability. If you select yes, then the disability options will populate from the drop-down menu. And if it's a no that is selected, then the disability options are inactivated. Strategy for testing. If the patient has any disability, and under disability you select other, you are given an option to specify in the other disability field. But given that our patient is not disabled, so we'll select no option and proceed to the strategy. Select the strategy and remarks. Remarks is a free text field. Input the remarks there. Patient consents to be tested and etc. Once done, click Save Changes. You'll get feedback that the encounter was saved successfully. Then you'll be navigated to the testing page. On the testing page, the system allows you to add a screening, how to add the screening test to proceed and conduct the confirmatory test and proceed to save. The first step is to click Add Screening. Click on the Add Screening button. The screening page will appear. Select the kit name. It's important to note that in this upgrade you have added HIV syphilis duo kit, so one is able to add that. Because the lot number has not yet been activated, we'll do it manually for the duo kit. Expiry date of the duo kit. Then the result and the syphilis result. So once done, you'll click Save button to proceed. If not, you can click Close button to actually nullify what you have just captured on the screening test. So for the purpose of this video, we'll proceed and click Save. Once you click Save, a summary of the screening test will be populated. Clearly written, the result for HIV. We had used a duo kit, so the syphilis result is also there. The kit name is there, the lot number and expiry date. Then once done, we'll proceed to the confirmatory test. Click on the confirmatory test button to conduct the confirmatory test. Select the kit name. First response. Kindly note that the lot number and expiry date have been pre-populated from the batch that is currently in use, so you don't need to key in again the lot number and expiry date. Come and select the HIV test results. Notice that the syphilis result is now inactivated because of the kit name. We have used first response and not the duo kit. Once done, click Save button to proceed and would have updated the confirmatory test results. Once you save the confirmatory test results, the summary of the confirmatory test will be populated and the final result will be populated. Therefore, the result is ready to be given to the client. So, select if the result was given to the client, drop down menu, yes or no. The discordant couple is inactivated because during screening, we had selected that the patient is being tested as an individual. If at all we had selected that the client is being tested as a couple, then the couple discordancy drop-down menu would be activated. Remarks, if there is a field of remarks, update accordingly. Select if the patient accepts to partner listing by selecting yes or no. If the patient does not accept to partner listing, then the reasons for decline will be populated. But if the patient accepts to partner listing, then the reasons for decline are inactivated. Next step is to click Save Changes. Once you click Save Changes, then the testing would be successful and a summary would appear. At this point, one can still get back to the Edit button and one can view the results by clicking on the eye icon. So basically, this patient, because I'd accepted to Pianist listing, then the Pianist tab would populate. But if at all the patient had rejected to Pianist screening, then the Pianist tab wouldn't appear. After completing HTS encounters, the next encounter in the HTS workflow is on referral. Remember, referral only applies when a client is being referred to a next facility for continuity of services. Therefore, to access the referral page, click on the referral tab. The referral and tracing dashboard will appear, displaying the patient name, registration, age, serial number, which is the HTS number, and the sex of the patient, just to align the user with whom they are about to refer. So the first step is to key in the facility which the patient is being referred, and kindly note there is a hint down there that if the facility you are typing on the referred to field does not populate, then don't be worried. Just proceed to the other facility field and type in the facility name there. But if the facility populates, then proceed to select the facility. So I want to refer this client for the purposes of this video to Machakos Level 5. Machakos Level 5 Hospital. There it is. Select it. Then select date to be enrolled from the calendar menu. I'm referring the patient to be enrolled on 24th. The next point is tracing. Tracing can only be conducted when the patient expected date at Machakos Level 5 reaches. Therefore, on the material date, the facility will contact the client to verify, or rather to find out if at all they visited Machakos Level 5, their referred facility. So to conduct tracing, you'll click on Add Trace. The tracing detail page will appear. Select the tracing date. For the purposes of this video, we'll select 22 for the purposes of this video demonstration because it's not yet 24th. Then the mode of tracing. Select the drop-down menu, whether traced by phone or physically. Then the outcome of tracing, if the patient was contacted are not linked or not contacted. And if the patient was not contacted, then the reason as to why the patient is not contacted will populate. And if you select other, kindly remember to come and key in the reason as to why you have selected other. So to proceed, once done, click Save to save tracing detail, and the tracing information will populate below as shown in the video. So once done, click Save Changes to save the referral details, and feedback message telling you that the referral information was successfully updated will appear. The next encounter is on linkage. Here, the client is being linked to a facility and sent to receive services to a facility. Basically, the client is being handed to a facility and to a specific healthcare worker for continuity of services. So to complete the form, we'll select the facility again. Machakos Level 5. Date of enrollment, because it's not yet 24th, we'll just select 22 for the purpose of this video. Healthcare worker whom the client is being handed to. CCC number, just taken an arbitrary CCC number, CADA is a medical officer, EMO, start ART date, if at all the patient is started on ART date. Select from the calendar menu. For the purposes of this demo, we'll pick on 22nd. And the remarks, if at all there are any remarks, you will actually type them on the remarks field. So once done, click on Save Changes and you'll be notified that the linkage was successfully saved. The next encounter on the HTS workflow is on Pianist. Remember, during enrollment, the patient agreed to listing of patients. So to add the Pianist, click on the Pianist tab on the left navigation panel. To add a Pianist, you will come and click on the add icon. Then the HTS Pianist form will appear. And remember, this is our index client. We are adding a Pianist. This is our index client. So you select. If the Pianist is already within the system, then we'll say yes, and the system will prompt you to search or find the client if the Pianist is registered within the said facility. But if not, we'll just select no and come and click register new. Basically, this is a new Pianist not registered in the facility. If not, we'll come and say want to register new. Then the system will navigate you back to the registration portal. There is a comprehensive video on how to register a patient. Kindly refer to that video. So we'll get back to Pianist enrollment. So suppose our Pianist is registered within the same facility. We'll come and find the Pianist. We'll search our database for the Pianist. Then we'll click find. There we have capacity demo building as the Pianist. Then I'll say save selected person. And there is our Pianist added. So Pianist can enlist as many as possible. We can enlist all the Pianists given by the client. And that is the workflow on how to register Pianist. Once done, select the relationship between the index client and the Pianist. So once done, click Save Changes and the Pianist will be added successfully. The next step is now to screen the Pianist using the index client. The Pianist is not available at that point. Basically at this point, it is the client who is giving information about the partners. So the Pianist is not available. So we are using the index client to screen the Pianist. To do so, we'll click on Screen button and screen the Pianist using information from the index client. Our index client is HTS demo client. So basically, we are screening the partner who is capacity demo building using information provided by our HTS demo client, which is our index client. So we'll key in the screening date, which is today. Pianist had accepted. This is auto-populated from our testing page because the index client had accepted to elicit the Pianist. IPV screening. Yes. So we'll update IPV screening if the index client accepts to. Once you select yes, then the IPV questions are activated. But if you select no, then the IPV questions are blinded off. So for the purposes of this video, we'll select yes so that you can complete IPV screening. Just a question of selecting from the drop-down menu. Then the IPV outcome. Occupation of the partner, Pianist, occupation of the Pianist. Pianist relationship to the index client. Establish whether they are living with the client. HIV status. So the approach to contact the Pianist. If eligible for testing, select. Then a booking is done. If the PNS is successfully contacted, then a booking for testing is done. And once that is done, come and click Save Changes to save the screening. You will be notified of a PNS screening form successfully done. So basically, now that tells you that screening was done and the patient was successfully traced and an appointment date was issued. So if in the subsequent, if the appointment date elapses and the PNS does not turn up, a tracing is instituted. So you'll click to add a trace. So basically, we are tracing the PNS. We are tracing the PNS. So to trace a PNS, click on the trace button and the tracing page will appear. Partners tracing page will appear. We'll come and add contact tracing outcome, the date of tracing for the purposes of this video today, tracing mode, what was the outcome. So if contacted, did the patient consent to testing, yes or no? If yes, then issue a booking, provide a booking when the patient confirmed that they will come. That is a workflow for successful tracing outcome. Suppose the outcome is not contacted, then the consent for testing becomes inactivated, because if you are unable to reach a PNS, then it means that we have not secured a booking to have the PNS come for testing. So basically, you save the changes and proceed to trace until the patient is contacted and agrees to testing. And once the patient comes back and agrees to testing, then they are given an HTS number, enrolled, and again their partners are elicited. So basically the chain continues. So that is the process. So let us take another scenario. Suppose the PNS is contacted and successfully reached and honors the appointment. We'll come again, fill the tracing information, the mode of tracing. Probably now it was physical because the other one did not materialize. When the patient was reached physically, they are accepted to testing and they are given a return date to come for testing. So if that is the outcome, once you save changes, then feedback will be notified that the patient was reached out physically, they were contacted, they consented to testing, and on 24th they will be appearing. So when 24th appears, then we'll update and walk the patient through the normal HTS workflow and also elicit the sexual partners, and the PNS tree continues to grow. So that's a short demo on how to elicit PNS and update the tracing information. So the next encounter is on family. So basically click on the family on the tab and the family dashboard will appear. Add family member by clicking the add button. So if the family is registered within the facility, you select yes and you'll find the contact. But if not, you will select no and click register new family member. And once you click register new family member, the system will automatically redirect you to the registration dashboard to proceed with registration. So let us get back to the family application. So we'll add a family member. As you have seen the various options, let us link to a family member who is now already registered in the system. We'll search using the name, then click find button, then select the family member to be linked to the client index. Once done, click on save selected person, then select the relationship to the index client. Once done, click save changes to add family member. Then a summary will appear of a family member linked to the index client. The next step is to proceed to screen the family member using the index client information. These are questions that are directed to the index client about the family member. So date of screening, select from the calendar menu. HIV status, if known to the index client. Eligibility for testing, and if a date is being issued when the family member will be reached out, then provide a date book for testing. Once done, click Save Changes, and the family screening will be added successfully. So if the family screening is added successfully, when the date elapses, when the family member is expected to come, this family member is traced, and to trace the family member, you'll click on Trace button, and the tracing information will appear. So if the patient was traced before, you'll get a summary of all the tracings that were done to this family member. And if this family member has not yet been contacted, then you'll continue tracing this patient. So you'll continue adding the tracing information until this family member is successfully traced and turns up to the facility for testing. So this marks the end of our HTS workflow, end-to-end navigation using IQCare. We have gone through enrolling a patient into HTS services. We have walked this patient through the HTS encounter, pre-test, testing, and the retest workflow. We have also walked through the referral and tracing, how to refer and trace a client. We have also walked through linkage, how to link a patient to a facility and the required forms to be completed on the EMR. We have also walked through the PNS, how to elicit a PNS on the EMR, how to trace a PNS, and how to register a PNS for HTS services. We have also looked at the family, how to elicit a family member, how to link that family member to the index client, how to trace and contact a family member for testing. This marks the end of our HTS end-to-end encounter using IQCare. Thank you.